Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mike Mataraki again, tuning in for the Cannabis News video blog number 3. As I mentioned in the past in a couple other news blogs, I have a couple other projects that I'm working on where we do vlogging, so I decided to take one interesting news item weekly and just kind of share it with the Fast and Friendly people, the New Amsterdam dispensary people, which is both the platforms that are bringing you this Cannabis News video blog, or CNVB. So those are our two sponsors. If you're in Los Angeles and you ever want to get a delivery or come into a dispensary, message me here and I'll try and do something really nice for you. Something I wanted to talk about this week, which has been coming up in a lot in conversation with those of us that have to deal with this, are the testing issues that are plaguing the different dispensaries and whatnot. Let me move something around here. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Moving some stuff around on my screen. Sorry. So dispensaries as of July 1, delivery services as of July 1, they have had to get rid of a lot of products. So any of those of you in Southern California, or actually anywhere in California, for example, if you've seen fire sales from your local dispensary or delivery service, it's because a lot of the product, whether cookies, cartridges, anything you can think of, if it is not passing pesticide testing, what they call even like level 1 and level 2, well, there's different levels of the pesticide testing. But if it's not passing the new packaging requirements or the pesticide requirements, these people have to get rid of the product. So they have to give it back to the vendor or have a fire sale to get rid of it or whatever. Or it can be sold on the black market, or, you know, people not following the law, which is a whole nother news blog or podcast to discuss. But that being said, I was looking at this article and it reminded me of the discussions we've been having every day for the last few weeks and few months in our industry. For example, some marijuana dispensaries are struggling to serve their customers after state testing regulations kicked in on July 1, this article reads. That's when all cannabis products were required to be tested for pesticides and molds, which I was just telling you a second ago. The lack of testing facilities has caused a shortage. In addition, new childproof packaging and other requirements are adding to the unavailability of cannabis products. Some dispensaries had the foresight to stock up on tested cannabis products before the deadline and continue to operate. Organically grown cannabis that doesn't contain pesticides is in high demand by distributors. That stuff is like gold right now. If you can find cannabis that's organically grown or sun-grown without pesticide or whatever, even indoor stuff, it is like gold right now. I don't know if you guys remember, but in Las Vegas, after they went recreational, week 1, all the dispensaries ran out of product, and the mayor constituted it or called it a state of emergency, which is kind of interesting in the cannabis world. Sorry for the shadow. This is the first video I'm doing at night, so I'm getting a little shadow here under my hat. So what do you do? Well, everyone has been scrambling, trying to find distributors and vendors and whatnot that are compliant. That being said, this article goes on. There are dispensaries that have empty shelves and had to turn away customers and lay off staff. Another one of the negatives or downsides of what's happening right now in our industry. Some industry observers fear that customers will turn to the black market for their cannabis goods, depriving licensed operators of business and reducing the state of tax revenues. That is a very, very, very prevalent topic. For example, these guys right here who we work with, New Amsterdam Naturals, they have a half a dozen illegal operators within a half a mile of them. They don't have to abide by any of the same licensing regulations, packaging regulations, testing regulations. They do, however, get cut off from licensed distributors after July 1. So that's interesting. So there's a whole undercurrent of black market vendors, black market distributors, even black market shops. And so the negatives right now of dealing with a licensed shop would be that you're probably seeing higher taxes you've ever seen before. The positives are sooner than later, hopefully, that all of these other illegal shops will be either shut down or cut off from distributors, and they won't be able to get the same products that most of you are used to if you're already using cannabis products in the state of California. The supply is slowly growing. The article goes on to say, as tested cannabis products make their way through the supply chain, but with fewer than 20 labs in the state equipped to perform the required tests, some dispensaries may not be fully stocked with preferred medical and recreational marijuana for customers until July 1 or later. Scrolling down here. Let's see here. Sorry. I like to ad-lib for you guys as much as possible, but I'm also reading an article too. And it is not moving very well. Anyhow, so the moral of the story is, if you guys have seen big changes in the market, packaging, a shortage of cannabis in your favorite dispensary, in your favorite licensed dispensary, it is because of the July 1 testing standards, which are higher and more strenuous and more difficult to pass than anything that's ever existed in the state of California. Feel safe and comfortable, though, now knowing that your weed that you're smoking or the cartridges that you're buying and smoking are more safe, more clean, more pure than organically grown tomatoes, artichokes, vegetables that you're used to eating, whatever. It is ultra safe, even though it is probably hard to find your favorite products right now. So anyhow, again, this is the end of Cannabis News video blog number 3. If you feel so inclined, let me know what you would like to hear about in different news presentations. We're doing one a week until we up the pace a little bit, which I don't know when that's going to be. I appreciate those of you that are watching so far. Thank you. If you do know anyone who would be a great guest for the Mellow Riot podcast that we have, which is a long-form discussion format, anyone in the cannabis industry, not in the cannabis industry, we're looking for interesting people to discuss interesting topics. We discuss cannabis a lot, yes. We also discuss cryptocurrencies, news, politics, music, culture, etc. So anyhow, message me here, either on Facebook or YouTube, for a litany of reasons, which I've just discussed. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. See you guys later. This is Mike Mataraki.